Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Power Rankings. I'm your Commissioner, Nick. It's week 11 on the schedule already. Can you believe it? My team is officially back. We got a packed show this week, a couple new segments, maybe a guest speaker. Who knows? We'll see. So without further ado, let's get right into those rankings. Number 12. Poppy's prized possession. Brophy lost again, and the dumpster fire rolls on. For the second time this year, the team failed to put up even 50 points. CD Silence of the Lamb was very quiet this week, probably because he couldn't see, but Jerry Jones is tired of hearing about the sun. You don't see people complaining about the moon during night games. He's got a point there, boom. Number 11. The Process. Our reigning, defending, undisputed champion Ryan couldn't hold off Cooper Kupp and the Commissioner on Monday night and fell to 3-7. Jared Goffel threw 5 picks, but it was Dalton Kincaid who was the smallest man on offense this week. Ryan's fantasy team is heading south fast, and without a revival, it'll be a burn season. Ryan's fantasy team is such a mess, he'd probably pay $12 million to keep it under wraps, if only an NDA could cover up his draft day decisions. Number 10. Got that dog in him. Luke won the Loser Bowl versus Brophy and moves out of the basement. Calvin Ridley led the way with 25 points, but Luke is still just 3-7 on the year and is going to need a lot of help to get into the playoffs. Number 9. Hawk Tua. Drew saw his winning streak come to a crashing end against Beans and falls to 4-6 on the season. The offense struggled this week, only putting up 85 points, thanks to Xavier Worthies and Javonte Williams 2 points each. Still in the playoff hunt, and Jalen Hurts has been balling, but that's not going to be enough to carry the rest of these bums all year. Number 8. Quantum Cheeseburger Farewell Tour. Jerry lost again this week, and he didn't stand much of a chance, having to face Jamar Chase this week, but regardless, Jerry's now lost 5 out of his last 7, and at this point, Quantum Cheeseburger Farewell Tour is more like Quantum Cheeseburger Midseason Collapse Tour. The offense is floundering faster than Kirk Cousins in primetime, leaving fans wondering if Jerry even checks his lineups before the games. If Jerry stays on his current course, then he'll be watching the playoffs from the sidelines again. Number 7. Brad's and Kamish's daddy, Hunter, won this week. Not! The team showed some good effort, except for Saquon Barkley, who stunk it up this week, scoring just 8 points. Now 5-5 on the season. Hunter is struggling to lock down his playoff spot and leaving the door open for all those 4-6 teams. Number 6. Beans 4-4-5. Beans picked up a huge win in a must-win game against Drew and is now right back in the playoff mix. LaMarvelous Jackson got the team off to a hot start on Thursday Night Football with 4 touchdowns and 40 points. And Chuba Hubba Hubbard got a nice contract extension and enjoyed some beer, sausage, and pretzels in Germany as he put up 24 points. Great work, Beans. Number 5. Brock Bauer Suplex City. Brad's team comes in at number 5 in the rankings after suffering defeat against When Legends Rise. His receivers dropped the ball this week as Nay Flowers, Bad McConkey, and Malik Wavers combined for 25 points. That's not good enough, boom. Brad has now lost 2 out of his last 3, and I know he hasn't been in the playoffs in a long time, so maybe he simply does not know how to finish the season strong. I don't know. Number 4. River Riley. Riley's team won again, so treat yourself to a round of sausage. Give yourself a round of applause. Jamar Chase channeled his inner Sammy Hagar, dropping a I can't drive of 55 points on Thursday Night Football. Austin Eckler added 2 touchdowns of his own as his team rolled over Jerry by 60. They won't always come this easy, but Riley's team has won 3 in a row and looks to be getting stronger as it goes on. Number 3. The Implication Reunion Tour. My team drops 2 spots despite picking up a huge win against the Process and improves to 5-5. Kyler Murray led the way and Christian McBackfree put up an easy 16.7 points with limited snaps. I know some of you might disagree with my ranking and point out that I'm 9th in points per game, but according to my advanced analytics department, my team actually ranks 2nd in expected fantasy points per game, only behind When Legends Rise. So take that. And speaking of When Legends Rise, Number 2. When Legends Rise, Frank moves up 2 spots in the rankings with an impressive victory over Brad in the game of the week. Joe Burrow got things going early on Thursday Night Football, throwing 4 touchdowns and 40 points. Travis Kelce added 20 points at tight end, and the rest of the team was pretty average, but that was enough this week, and Frank continues to show he belongs near the top of the rankings. And number 1, Harambe Revenge Tour. Oliver returns to the top spot in the rankings after defeating Hunter. James Conner led the way with 22 points, and Matt Stafford finished things off on Monday Night Football to seal the victory. Now 8-2 on the season, and in sole possession of first place in the league. Will Oliver be the first team to clinch a playoff spot this weekend? Now let's take a look at our playoff picture. First, we see Harambe as the 1 seed right now. Quantum Cheeseburger would face off against River Riley. Brad and Commission's Daddy would take on Brad and Brock Bauer Suplex City, so that's an intriguing matchup there. And then, look at me down there, the Implication Reunion Tour, hanging on to the 7 seed at 5-5, would take on When Legends Rise, the 2 seed, if the season ended today. Wait, what is this? The Tank Tracker! Brophy, Poppy's prized possession is on Tank Tracker watch. That's all I got for the Tank Tracker, but Brophy, that is not good. You don't want to be in the Tank Tracker slide. And now let's take a look at our Week 11 matchups. Last week, I went 5-1 with my picks, so just like I said I would, and this week, I'm going to try to go 6-0, so let's see how we do here. First matchup, got that dog in him versus Beans 445. Beans has been hot lately, still very much in the playoff race. He's got Lamar. I'm taking Beans here. Next matchup, it's Brad and Kamish's Daddy taking on Poppy's prized possession. I've got to take Hunter with this one. I mean, Poppy's offense has been terrible lately. He might only score 30 points this week. Who knows? Next, it's River Riley versus Hawk Tua. A couple buddies going head-to-head here. And you know what? I'm taking Drew's team to get the win in this one. Riley's way overdue for a loss. Next! It's the Process taking on Brock Bauer Suplex City. I'm taking Ryan here. His team's been looking a little better lately. Maybe not in the win-loss column, but I think he's due for a win. And Brad, he just doesn't really need a win right now. He's been struggling a bit, losing 2 out of his last 3. He doesn't know how to close out a season strong. Give me the Process for the win. And lastly, we've got a tour battle. That's right, it's Harambe Revenge Tour taking on the Implication Reunion Tour. Oliver and I have met in many times in the past, many big matchups, including 2 championships, which I won both of them. And this one will be interesting because the Cardinals are on bye this week, and so that means I'll be without Kyler Murray and McBride. Meanwhile, Oliver will also be without James Conner. I gotta be honest though, Oliver, your team is just a little bit better than mine at the moment, so I'm expecting Oliver to get the win this time around. And in the game of the week, we've got When Legends Rise taking on Quantum Cheeseburger. When Legends Rise appearing in his 2nd straight primetime matchup. Frank the Tank is riding high at 7-3, while Jerry's been struggling lately at 5-5. My dad's team strength is his 2 Hall of Fame caliber tight ends in Travis Kelce and Kyle Pitts, but his weakness right now is running back depth. As you see, Kyren Williams is great, but it really falls off after that. Jerry, on the other hand, has a strong defense in the Vikings with an easy matchup against the Titans this week, but we all know Jerry loves to get in his own way when it comes to fantasy, and he's actually a lot like Jerry Jones right now, suffering from mental dullness. And with all that being said, my pick for the game of the week is Quantum Cheeseburger to get the upset victory in prime time. And now we welcome a very special guest to the show, someone whose identity who's been carefully kept under wraps for the past week, but whose presence is sure to bring a whole new level of insight and intrigue. So without further ado, here he is.
Darkness. What is darkness? Darkness is the absence of light. Darkness can neither be seen, heard, or felt. Darkness is what comes upon you when you feel that all is lost and you feel hopeless. And when you feel that all is lost and when you feel completely hopeless, the darkness starts to consume you. But even in the most advanced of darkness, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. And you just have to keep crawling out of the darkness so it doesn't consume you. And hopefully, when you're done, when you continue to climb and climb out of the darkness, you can reach the light. and get to the promised land. Last week, Quantum Cheeseburger had an ass kicking done to them at the hands of River Riley. But you know what? We're not climbing. We're not going to let the darkness absorb us. We will climb out of it and into the light and continue on with the season. Because that's what we do here at Quantum Cheeseburger. We're not giving up yet. This last ride still has a few weeks left in it, and we're going to make sure that we get to the promised land.